Yes, portage is a wonderful word. It's a loose translation from French, which means to carry. And what it really means is get out and run like hell, but take your boat with you. It comes from the days of marathon, where marathon racing used to be more like cross-country racing. Indeed, many of our races still, it's necessary to get out and run around a weir or past a lock. You can't sit in a lock and wait for 20 minutes whilst the lock changes its height. The world will have gone past. Much faster, therefore, to get out of the boat, pick the boat up, grab the paddle and run like hell. Now, portages are very much part of marathon racing. It's part of the challenge. It's like the water jump, if you like, in a 3,000 metre race at the Olympics. It's very much part of the skill involved. It makes the challenge tougher. It puts in elements of luck as well as elements of skill. And it means there must be even more tactical sprints for optimum position coming into a portage. Paddlers will cruise until they're 50 metres away from a portage, then sprint. But as they approach the bank, they're going at fastest possible speed. They have to slow their boat down. Sometimes, if the bank is low, they can stand in their very fine wobbly craft. Imagine that, a bit like standing on a bike and then jumping off. And run with their boat, hardly stopping to pick the boat up until they get to the far end of the portage. Drop the boat into the water and jump in the boat to push it forward as they jump in and start paddling with one smooth movement to get away. It's quite a challenge, it's quite a skill. Those that do it well win races. Those that do it poorly drop behind. The way you portage is very dependent on the type of portage that you're faced with. With a concrete edge, as we had in Worcester this week, it really is quite difficult to bring the boat in and slow down. With a sandy beach, you can drive the boat straight up the beach without risk of damaging it. Stretch one foot over the side of the cockpit and jump to your feet with the momentum of the boat stopping on the beach. But that's not possible this week at Worcester. So paddlers have been faced with the decision: do they come in fast and risk not being able to stop well and getting in a little bit of a muddle before they get out, or do they come in slowly and let faster paddlers get ahead of them? The truth of it all, of course, is top athletes do things very smoothly, very fast, but it looks slow. They speed their brains up, they speed their actions down, they practice carefully, they move with great fluidity. But in terms of how far to run, the usual maxim is run long, run a long way, because you can run faster with the boat over a short distance, a few hundred meters, than you can paddle that boat. So if you've dropped a bit of space and you are down on the group ahead of you, you can maybe make up by running long. But that said, top paddlers will get out fast, portage fast, get back in onto the river at the far end, and instead of paddling them by themselves for the next lap or two and having to do all the work, they might just sit there, stop, have a drink, get their drink bottle sorted out, have a drink and wait for everyone else to get with them, and then cruise off with the peloton again. So it depends very much, it depends on the stage of the race, it depends on the confidence of the paddler, and it depends how well things have gone. Now, one of the fabulous attributes of Ivan Lawler, our six-time world marathon champion, is that he can organise athletes, international athletes, people who don't speak the same language. They all respect Ivan, and he would work to get his group together, to get them to work for him in the way that a top cyclist would have their team working for them on the Tour de France.
Ivan, you didn't look in too bad a shape when you came in, but that was enough at the very fast level?
Looks can be deceptive, mate. Shape's all relative. It didn't feel too good from the inside.
So your main focus is the selection race in K2 for the World Championships in Tin in Czechoslovakia in September. How do you think you're going to go tomorrow?
We've been out a few times in the K2. It goes along very nicely, as it would if you got an engine like that in the back. All I've got to do is point it in the right direction. But K2's difficult. They don't always run well. We go well, fairly well, at a nice steady pace. Maybe we're a bit weak on the short, sharp stuff.
Tell me, Ivan, what have the tactics been like on the river with the trees, with the river being up and the trees hanging over a little bit? Has that caused any problems?
It's actually been really civilised out there. Everyone's been good to everyone else. Apart from the start, it was always tense because no one wants to miss out on the front group. But once it's settled up there, it's been very, very civilised. It's nice.
marathon paddling is at a very exciting time internationally. Canoeing is a huge sport here in Great Britain. Canoeing marathon will build as sprint canoeing will build, as rough water canoeing will build in this country. There are more racing facilities being built and prepared, and more clubs are developing. Sport England is helping enormously with grants to help clubs provide better coaching, better facilities and better kayaks, and indeed local authorities, city councils, county councils, shire councils are also helping with their sports grants and sports partnerships. A fabulous step forward, and it has got to be good for young people. A bright future. It's a sport open to all, it's open to people at all levels. It is not actually terribly expensive, clubs will help get going. It is a very safe sport if people learn carefully with good coaching at club levels. It's great fun to train in groups, but you can go and train by yourself, or you can just chill out for a lazy day's canoeing and still get benefit from it physically and mentally.